Shalom from Israel. Though public attention and media attention obviously has been focused during the last week on Israel-Iran war and the ceasefire, I want to draw our attention to another arena, and that is Syria, and more specifically a horrifying event that happened in Syria a couple of days ago. A member of ISIS terror organization, a homicide bomber, blew himself up inside a church in Damascus, killing 25 Christians. That event indicates a couple of things that should be noticed in the context of Syria. First, though the new regime in Syria is gradually expanding control and gradually restoring control over different parts of Syria, it yet has not completely restored full control over all parts of Syria. The other thing is that there are likely some pockets of tensions within that regime itself. What are those pockets of tensions? The new regime in Syria is based upon particularly a congregation of Sunni radical Islamic group. Some of them are Syrians, some of them are non-Syrians, that has been operating during the war in Syria. That congregation is rather known by the name of HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. In fact, Syria's current president, Ahmad Hussein al-Shara, was the leader of that congregation. And this is a congregation that comes from the hub of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Clearly, there are elements within that congregation that are very unhappy or resentful with the pragmatic line that Shara, today in his capacity as the president of Syria, is leading. In fact, there has been an accumulating report that sometimes that resentment of those elements within the new regime have been expressed in a violent way. For example, a couple of months ago, there has been massacre of the Alawite minority in the west part of Syria. Some reports suggest that the massacre was conducted deliberately by those elements within HTS or the new regime that are unhappy with the Shara's pragmatic line. One way or another, we obviously have to follow very closely the development in Syria and to wonder whether this recent event is going to ignite a chain of reactions in Syria that basically could resend Syria once again into a chaotic circle of violence, or maybe the new regime in Syria is powerful enough to contain and restrain and maybe eliminate those factors. We'll have to watch very closely to see how things evolve. Thank you for watching.